Welcome back to Business Central Training with Learn BC. We're talking about the forecast and purchase blanket order framework. It really comes back to the purchase framework for agreements, how you actually handle your agreement. You're going to bring that out through a blanket order, a purchase order, or you'll land that in straight into your forecast and just allow for demand. So let's take you through and introduce the concepts. First and foremost, we're on our RightSize 365 account. I can see here that we've created in this tutorial. You'll notice that I've got some attachments. I've included these, for example, vendor agreement example, terms, conditions. There's a little tick box here that's really useful. It says flow through to purchase transactions. Highly recommend. It doesn't actually duplicate the file. It just gives you an ability to actually have that flow through. Now, if I just happened to be in a new purchase order, and if I create this purchase order here, just as an example widget for, 5 items, you can see straight away that the document attachments have flowed through and are here as an example. I can add more to it, but it does give us that capability to actually keep everybody on the same page with the detail. All right. Now, one thing that it does allow you to do if you're sending this purchase order to this supplier, I'm just going to email this. As I do that, you've got the standard PO that's attached, and I can actually apply from not only the purchase header, but also the vendor card. So it does give you documents. You can flow them through. You don't have to. You might find it important to be able to attach something that you're wanting that vendor to know as part of this transaction. Okay. So the ability to keep your files against the vendor can flow through to that purchase order. So super useful. But let's move on. Okay. Other than a purchase order, which we should know how to do a purchase order, what is a blanket order and how do we use it? So, well, the blanket order is effectively an agreement, a blanket order over a period of time. And so we're going to really say, I want this to happen over X period of time. And what you would do is you'd come into here and you'd make an order for 100 units at a time, which would, so this example here, 3 blanket orders would become, sorry, 1 blanket order with 3 items would then become 3 separate purchase orders. And you're drilling down, pulling down these 100 at a time. That's the introduction of the concept to it of a blanket order. You've got at least a method to track a long-term agreement of supply using the blanket order. You draw down from it, but at the end of the day, it keeps your purchase orders clean from things that just sit there over long periods of time. The other way for us to take up an agreement with a customer is to actually put it into our demand forecast. And our demand forecast here, in an example, I've created one here and I've got, against the same widget, I've got 150 in April, May, and June that we require. Against this, we could go into detail by drill down into the record, and I could actually, it's basically a concatenation of every single line from each commitment that we've actually received. So we could actually document this here, put it in forecast, and then that's going to have a positive effect on your demand planner. So I guess we're going to go into a bit more detail. In the next 2 tutorials, we're going to talk about blanket orders for successive purchases, and we're going to talk about forecasting, using forecast in more detail. So see you in the next tutorial.